Good afternoon, everybody. Brian here from quantlabs.net. Just wanted to go over an first overview of this newer crypto trading bot with 5 built-in strategies, good to go, and pretty well covers all of the scenarios I'm hoping will last 3-4 months with the wild volatility, flat trading, and all those different conditions to cover. So I'm going to do the first overview. If you've not been over to the blog at quantlabs.net/blog, I posted some of the latest results here and some other interesting blog posts. Same could be said over at the videos on the YouTube channel at Quant Labs. You can see them all here. And more importantly, I stay up to date, which is easier just to upgrade, is Instagram at Instagram.com/quantlabs is the account, so you can get all the latest and greatest on what's happening there. But I thought I'd make a better video here to look at. So it's been a long time coming. We've got 3 processes that run 3 separate scripts. This one right here is the server edition. Only I have that. I'll send you out the signals via email. I can send out better, faster via a queuing technique. I still want to test the email. It's just more reliable, more secure from my end. I have to check with my hosting provider, so that may be an option down the road, but still right now, it will remain email for now. So what we have here, it goes through 5 separate strategies, and it sends out different trading signals to the client, which you guys get that sign up for the crypto trading bot service. Here in my Redis, in these trading conditions with what I call the weighted average, this guy right here, this number is going to be really important for you. I've talked about this numerous times in the last number of months. It's a weighted average of the hourly performance for the big 4, as I call them: Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Bitcoin. And there's a little simple algorithm that I use to calculate the weighted average. So right now it's 0.49. Sorry, negative 0.49. So I send that as part of the signaling. You can use that as a metric to see how overall the crypto market's doing, especially in the exchange that I use and would tell people to use is Binance. So we have different signals here. This is the program or application that runs, and what it does, it will, like a heartbeat, check every so often incoming email, and it's pretty quick for incoming email for any signal that is relative to a potential signal. I haven't introduced you to the INI file, the configuration. It's very detailed. You can turn on and off strategies. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff. I'll do a variety of configuration files with the strategies for that as we progress. One thing I want to, everyone that's going to watch this, thanks for your patience as well. One thing you will need to be aware of is that this took 2 weeks to get together. It's still getting more stable. It's because I got to test it. You remember, you're dealing with 5 strategies now, not just 1 or 2, 5. And this thing can crash here and there, so I have to test for those conditions. So more patience is needed to get this to where it's pretty well foolproof, so it's not going to be causing any problems with people that download this. So this will be made available. You can see here I have the name of the strategy. I've already talked about the types of strategies. If it's in the futures market, the spot market is an oscillator. It's a half, we'll call it a half mean reversion, plus the momentum, the mom part, and then the entries come in via email into this program. So there's a lot of signals that do get generated. There's no doubt about that. And the reason is when you go negative, as in the weighted average here, you're not going to get a lot of signals. But there are sometimes signal opportunities that come along that make profit. Now, it all comes down to probability. to what will be profitable or not. That's all going to be based upon experience. As you know, I've mentioned as part of the service that we'll have here. Part of that service will be a value added on just daily analysis I'm going through on how I'm setting my own parameters on this client thing, because I'm going to be doing the same thing that you guys do when you download this thing. So I'll be making how I update that available to my customers as they join the service. So that's part of the plan. So there's this first program that will just, all it does is just takes the signals. From there, the tricky part that took it so long to design was, how do I share the data between this program and the second program, or let alone can I do it all in one program? And maybe you could do it all in one program, but from a simplistic point of view, I just broke it up into two separate programs. Just easier, but they share some files together. And part of the other problem was to be able to, when you download it, I don't want you to have to install other software to make this happen, meaning a database. Could have been Redis, it could have been SQLite, it could have been, God, who knows what, is like MySQL or something, heaven forbid. But I did find a database in Python that's called TinyDB, and right now it shares JSON files as the format. So this is the second program. So what this does, it will compile all of the incoming signals into one, and it will put them into different strategies. So as I said, there's 5 different strategies. This one's a US dollar tether, a spot market. I have one for tether in the futures market, and you'll get used to them as time progresses. So as they're batched in, this program will process each and every one of those strategies and every single entry for those positions, and it sort of maintains it. So you can see here, it's just checking right now on the open positions for these two ones, in this case, DOC USDT and ENG USDT. Now, before I show you the other parts of the client, there's some really, I don't want to say, just, it's a little daunting at first, but when you see it in action, it's a lot better. So in here, there's 2 file formats that these scripts work with. Are JSON files. These are like a file format, very open. So for instance, we have the weighted average JSON file. So that's this one here, WAVJ JSON. And what that does is it's basically a data format that you can use with the timestamp, the weighted average here, and then the metrics for each one of those 4 coins that I've highlighted here in this file, in this table right here. So they're all now going to be local on your system, and they're going to be sent every, right now it's configured every 20 minutes, because some of the scans for all the strategies can take up to 20 minutes. If the markets are red hot, it could take 20 minutes. If they're down, it could take 5 minutes. So I think 20 minutes is a pretty good metric. So what you'll get for every 20 minutes is you'll get the weighted average. And what will happen is you'll be able to go through, and it will add each snapshot to the file, to the JSON file here. And then that means you can go in and start looking, if you wanted to build your own little, I don't know, quantity technique. I'm not saying you need to do this, but it's a pretty good thing where you can load up something like a JSON editor. In my case, I'm using Visual Studio. It's like a programmer's editor. And here we have the different pieces. I mean, this is just something. Let's see here if I got this right. But anyways. Okay. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that, but you will be able to look at this file here and be able to go through each snapshot of this JSON file and be able to look at at that time what the weighted average was in each of the different big four coins and what they are. And at the same time, I've got also the positions JSON file, which is pretty well all the open positions available. Let me see here. Yeah, so this one right here is another one. You've got to be very careful with this file because it's multi-threaded, meaning that one of the two programs are accessing it. It has to lock the files, so you cannot just simply edit the file at the same time when you have these programs running. Otherwise, it will corrupt the file, throw off the scripting. But that's standard programming anyways. When any program works like that. So you can always archive it by copying it to another file and then edit it from there. But anyways, I'll go through the tutorials there. Also in here are a bunch of CSV files. So these are common separated value files, and these are the P&L, the profit loss of each strategy. So you can maintain these as best as you want, and they're in a CSV format, comma separated value. So then you can load them up into your Excel, let's say, and analyze how each position has performed. And the reason I highlight the weighted average file, this one right here, is you can hopefully maybe see your relationship between the weighted average of the big four and how all the other coins correlate around those four in the actual positions that this thing's trading. So you can kind of fool around with these file settings or the results, and then that means you can go back into your INI file and adjust the settings and the parameters to what you think is best for you as well. So that is going to be a really powerful feature. And one of the other things with the so when I say archiving, I'm going to make an archive subdirectory here. So just to show you, this is something you could do on your own once you get this service. Just see here. So we are in the archive folder now. So what I can do here is I can copy over the CSVs into that folder and be able to analyze them, because you don't want to edit them while your programs are running. As I said, they'll conflict and you'll get kind of corruption errors on the CSVs themselves or whatever file you're working with, be it the CSV or the JSON file or the scripts themselves that are running these guys right here as they run. So you want to copy them. And the cool thing about this is so I've copied the CSV files. You can do this in Windows as well by doing drag and drop and all that fun stuff. I'm just using the command line in Linux or Mac. So in here, you'll see I've got the two files now available. So I can now open, let's say, the P&L futures momentum CSV file, and that will bring up my Excel, or actually in this case, Apple numbers. And then you'll be able to see how this thing performs. And you could also do the same thing with Excel. So here's the prop P&L of how this is performing, the date stamp, the pair, the strategy, which is, of course, is the futures momentum, the entry, exit, and this is the profit and loss. So you can see here, majority of profit, which is pretty good. And remember, we're dealing with a negative market. So, it looks like I am generating a little bit of profit here from this since 23.45. So that's when I first got the first position. So we've got, looks like 20 positions here. And then you can do things like, if I was a expert, you could do your Excel manipulation on these spreadsheets right in the in the CSV file or Excel file and do whatever you want with it. And you can do it by strategy. So from there, when you decide with the configuration settings, you'll be able to turn on and off which strategies are performing really well. I'm also going to add in other parameters that will enable you to run certain strategies at certain market conditions only if the weighted average is at this, and so on and so forth. So if I look at the other strategy here, PNL USDT, let me just see if I can, I'm going to pull up my Excel here. So let me just go in here and navigate to that proper folder. So, okay, so what I can do here, I'm looking for my Binance. So this is not going to be nowhere as complicated. This is just the first overview of analyzing the files here. So this little folder here, you'll get some of the working applications. So here I've created that archive folder, and here are the two CSVs in there. So in here we can look at this one, and I can open up Excel, as I said, and be able to do whatever you want that you do with Excel. And you can build other automation off of this. So it's very flexible, and as I said, it does it by strategy. I just want to show you a quick way to know if you are making money or not. Obviously, I'm no expert here, but you can do things like that. Okay, so looks like I'm no expert here. F1, F2, you can clearly see it's losing money, but who knows? Okay, so let me pull up the other one. This one seemed to have more profit potential. So we want Excel. And this again is the P&L, profit or loss on that position. So here, all I gotta do is this. This is so much better than what I used to do. And you, as I said, you can do it by strategy. So you can see here I made $2.82. I believe this is USDT. So, you know, I made $2. Woo! You know, so in half an hour. So it's pretty good in that view. As I said, there will be an INI file available to tweak everything, and I'll go into great detail in that. In the meantime, if you are new and watching everything that I've got here, all you gotta do is come over to the blog. Look for a page called tutorial on my blog, quantlabs.net/blog. In there, I've got a tutorial page, which I will need to update once I get closer to finalizing this, but I wanted to show just how this is evolving and how it's going to look. Crypto trading, quant analytics tutorials is what you want. And then this will walk you through pretty well everything. So if you're new to everything, what I would recommend you to do is to go through the videos of the dashboard tour, of the Binance video and crypto, and everything from here will change. The client install and all that, that will change and what's here. But at least you can watch these 3 videos to get, or 4 videos to get a better idea of how this will evolve and what it will turn into. But so far, I'm very, very excited with this. And it's going to have, as I said, parameters to filter out certain pairs you don't want. You can filter them out by volume. You can filter them out by price, and it won't take the trade. And that will be for each strategy. As I said, you'll be able to turn on and off strategies based upon that weighted moving average or that weighted average, because that's been a very, very reliable metric for me for the last number of years. And it trades anything you want, but it will trade and generate signals. It's up to you what you want to take a chance on in terms of what you are willing to take profit on, if it does profit at all. So it's going to be very, very, very detailed for what you want. Plus, with these CSVs and analyzing how the strategies are doing, you can do that. There's a lot of ideas I'm coming up with, and I'm sure as people jump in on this, they'll come up with other ideas on how to make this better. But I just don't want to have to put everything on pause for a couple of weeks so people don't have access to what they're paying for. So it's not fair to them. So as I said earlier in another video, if you are a current customer of this, don't you worry. I will have you get a complimentary first month. This is only for my current customers that took advantage of this. Everyone else that will be coming in are going to be new. There is no trial offer here. Sorry. A lot of work's been put into this. And I'm pretty excited with the way it's looking. I'm going to let it run through the night as well. And as I said, let's see if everything's still running here. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So there's certain strategies that do get traded a lot. It's either the USDT spot or the futures market. But from what I understand and what I'm seeing, there's going to be one or two strategies that may not perform at all. That's this one, the USDT spot, as well as Ethereum as well. These are more defensive when the market goes bad, or I don't know. It's just a matter of experimenting and see what works and what doesn't work. Other than that, thanks for watching. Thanks for the patience. I'm pretty excited with what's being built out. And we'll go from there. And have a good day and all that. Talk to you later. If you got any feedback, let me know. See you.